Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Myles. Now today I want to talk about 3 things that losing fighters do. 3 things that losing fighters have in common. Maybe you are out there, you want to be training mixed martial arts, you want to make it to the big show one day, UFC and Bellator, and you want to fight there. You love mixed martial arts, you love being a fighter, and let's talk about how to get there. One of the best ways to do that is talk about what not to do, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Before we get into the video, I want to give a special shout out to the Super Chat champion behind me, Dean Nasser. Dean won the belt this past Sunday. He is a 2-time defending Super Chat champion, so shout out to Dean. If anybody wants a shot at this belt or to check out the Super Chat and the live stream, it's every Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come in, come join us, check it out. We have a good time. We talk a lot about mixed martial arts, UFC. We talk about investing and some finance. Let's get to it. Now the first thing that losing fighters do is they don't smash that subscribe button and they really don't hit that thumbs up button. Losing fighters have no coaches. That's the very first thing that they do. You'll recognize these type of fighters by coming out when they fight. They train out of their garage. They're self-trained, self-made. These fighters, they choose to do everything on their own. And that's a big reason why they lose. In MMA, it's a team sport. Even though you're an individual fighter out there, you have to have coaches, you have to have teammates, have to have a gym. And let's face it, if some guy's training out of his garage and he's going up against a guy that trains out of a great gym like American Top Team or Alliance or American Kickboxing Academy, it's him in his garage training by himself versus the whole team and who he's fighting there. So that right there, it's working against them. A lot of these fighters, I also notice when they train themselves and they don't have coaches, I notice that they also get distracted. This means that, you know, they train themselves at a lower level. Maybe that works as an amateur career. They get a couple of wins, but that's it. They basically get distracted by another career, or they get distracted by, you know, going out and living the rock star life in your small hometown. You know, maybe you win a small belt, and that's it. The second thing that a losing fighter does is they don't improve. Now, when you're an MMA fighter, you constantly need to be evolving. You know, that's one of the biggest things, because this sport changes and grows, and I guess a lack of a better word, it mutates. It mutates. You know, one day it's striking that's leading the race. Another day it's jiu-jitsu. To win, you constantly have to be evolving. You need to be seeking out different gyms to go train jiu-jitsu. You need to be seeking out coaches to learn striking. You need to be seeking out ways to improve your overall game. Maybe it's a sports psychologist, you know, maybe you need to work on the mental game, or maybe you need a diet, you know, you need to have a nutritionist come in and to help you out. And these are all things that a losing fighter does not do. They think, again, that, you know, their stuff is the stuff. They're all ego, they're all up in their head. They don't need coaching, they don't need to evolve. They're basically, let's go out there, let's do it right now. And that might work on a smaller show, but to get to those bigger shows, you have to be growing, you have to be evolving. So that's the second thing that losing fighters do. They do not grow, they do not improve. Now the third thing that a losing fighter does, and this is probably the biggest one, is a losing fighter quits when they're faced with adversity. Now maybe this adversity comes in the form of a loss, or maybe this adversity comes in the form of an injury. Heck, maybe it's girl problems, maybe it's guy problems, maybe it's financial problems, whatever it is. A losing fighter, when they're faced with that adversity, they give up. They make excuses, they make a story of why they're not going to push through and why they're not going to succeed. And this to me is the biggest one, because mixed martial arts, MMA, being a fighter, trying to make it to the UFC and Bellator, you're going to go through so much adversity. If you haven't checked out my video on the 3 Ps of being a UFC fighter, check it out. We talk a little bit about some of that adversity you go through in that video. So if you want to be in the UFC, you want to make it to the big show, you want to make good money, you want to be a winner, make sure you have coaches and a team. Make sure you're constantly improving and evolving. And above else, make sure when you're faced with adversity that you find a way to push through it, to keep going, to keep growing. Because if you do that, your chances of being successful and making it to that top show, making it to the UFC, making it to Bellator, man, do they improve. So until next time, guys.